Well, good evening, ladies. Welcome to the YL UpNet. This is Catherine, AAC4YL, net control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We ask that only YLs or licensed young lady ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. For more ham fun between weekly nets, please visit the YL UpNet Facebook group. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name -call sign in the box and click Log In. YLs who would like to check in, give us your call sign, name, and current location. And don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AAC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
Kilo Alpha 7, Sierra Kilo Yankee, Sky in Gardner, Washington.
KC8 PKY, Linda, Knox, Indiana. WR7YL, Katy, and Sundance, Wyoming.
Alpha Echo 7, Mike Bravo, Margaret, Battleground, Washington. VA3 OYL, Debbie, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
KC1IEZ, Alicia, Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carol, also in Hamilton, Ontario.
KC9ZHC, Lauren here in Albany, Illinois.
Okay, start with that nice group of check-ins we have so far. We have Sky, K7SKY, joining us from Washington. Linda, KC8PKY, joining us from Indiana. Katie, WY7YL, joining us from Wyoming. Margaret, AE7MB, also checking in from Washington. Debbie, VA3OYL, joining us from Hamilton, Ontario. Welcome, Debbie. And Alicia, KC1IEZ, joining us from Massachusetts. Good evening to you. Evening, and Lauren, KC9ZHV, joining us from Illinois this evening. Great group. All right, do we have any other YLs who would like to check into the net this evening? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anyone, so you may see some other YLs trickle in here as we continue on in the net. I hope everybody's having a great week. I think we'll kick it off with any announcements or news or anything that you ladies might have that you would like to share with the group, what you've been up to in amateur radio activities or otherwise in general, and if you'd like to say hello to the group, anything that you'd like to say, I'd like to open it up with that. And before I forget, for those of you who may not have seen it on Facebook, Dawn is usually on here with us, WA4YL. But she went into the hospital with some low potassium levels. She's, as far as I know, last I saw, she's still in the hospital right now. But if you see her on Facebook, give her a shout out, say hello. I'm sure she'd appreciate it. A lot of you have already done that, and loves to hear from you gals. So just in case any of you weren't aware and haven't seen that up on Facebook today, so give her a shout, say hello, maybe send an email. I don't know if she's checking email, but if you like, just say hi. I know she's on Facebook fairly often, at least she can get on with her phone. So anyway, just wanted to mention that before I forget. Looks like we've had Yolanda join us, KM4AAQ. Good evening, Yolanda. Welcome. And Yolanda is here in Georgia. All right, let's open it up to the group and see what's going on. What have you gals been up to in amateur radio or anything in general? Any announcements, news updates? You just want to come on and say hello, that's fine too. So just throw your call out and we'll pass the mic to you.
AC8PKY.
Please go ahead, Linda.
Okay, just wanted to let everybody know this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time is the Indiana QSO party, and Dave and I will be working it, so hopefully we'll hear some of you out there. And with that, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, very good. Hopefully you guys are hearing me okay. I'm not cutting out too bad. I'm not trusting my internet connection tonight, it seems. So hopefully I'm not cutting out too bad for you guys, and you're able to hear me okay. So very good. Okay, cool. Yeah, Indiana QSO party is definitely this weekend. And while we're on the QSO party topic, there are a few states doing their QSO parties this weekend, including Delaware, and the 7th call area is having their QSO party as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. So you guys can certainly get on the air and work some of those states, especially if you're trying to work all states. That is a lot of fun. It's a fun way to do it. There's different QSO parties every month. And if you want to know what the schedule is, you can, of course, look at contestcalendar.com. That will show you events taking place on a week for state QSO parties, and you will find the dates for the contest. So there's, I think it's qsoparty.eqth.net, and it's a sortable calendar by state and date. So I find that helpful, especially if you're looking for a and I will copy and paste that link into the chat box so you gals will have that. Okay, let's open it back up to the group and see who has something else that you'd like to share this evening. Please call now.
KC1IEZ.
Well, good evening, Alicia. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that the New England QSO party is also this weekend, on Saturday and Sunday. And on another point, I passed my X-ray exam last weekend, so I'm pleased about that. Over to you.
Well, that is fantastic. Congratulations on that for sure. And the New England QSO party is also this weekend. Sure is. So that's very, very cool. A lot of fun. So there'll be a lot of folks on the air this weekend. Looks like RSGB is doing an 80-meter club championship, and FIS is doing their spring slow speed sprint. For those of you getting into CW, that might be a good opportunity for you to participate there. And 1010 International doing their CW spring contest. So it's a worldwide VHF contest for those of you that are into VHF activity. So a lot of cool things going on this weekend. So get on the radio if you can. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. So congratulations. Fantastic. We've had Brenda pop in here in Connecticut, and Ann, W1AYL, has also joined. Ann's up in New Hampshire, so good evening to both of you. We're just catching up and talking about what's going on, what we've been up to, and any news or announcements or anything that we want to share with the group. I think Lauren had a comment that I might have missed her. So, Lauren, if you had something for the group, please go ahead. KC9ZHV, AC4YL in the group.
All right, let's see if I have it here. Yep, okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good at the moment. I went through shoulder surgery on Monday. Everything went fine. Still in physical therapy every day this week, every day next week, and then I'll be going to like 3 days a week. But just to let everybody know, my repeater system is off the air, so you are on the data center hub, which is not affected by the repeater system, but my system, both repeaters are off the air. Just as an update or informational, just to let everybody know. With that being said, I'll just go ahead and send it back to net control. Nothing more to add. I need to step off to the side and grab another ice pack and relax here. So back to net control. KC9ZHV.
Well, Lauren, very good. So glad everything went well for you, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us for a little while. So it's great to hear you. You're sounding good, and well, hopefully that will be one less thing you have to worry about. So that's awesome. Cool. All right. Let's see. Who else has something that you would like to share with the group? I know Brenda's might have some news if she wants to come in and tell us about that, or anybody else. So I'll open it up for you. Please go ahead and throw your call out. Okay, looks like Ann, KC9YL, has also joined us, so welcome to the net this evening, Ann. And Ann is up in Wisconsin, so glad to have you here with us this evening. Oh, cool. We're just catching up and seeing what's been going on out everybody's way. So anyway, what I thought we'd do is tonight is share some any fun ham links that you may have come across that you find interesting or helpful for you in amateur radio. And I know we've talked about some in the past, but ones that you might use often, perhaps it's a website that has a nice listing of amateur radio terminology that has helped you, or perhaps it's different different ham radio news sites, such as the news section of arrl.org, or maybe it's a cool website to buy ham gear or electronics kits that you find interesting and fun, or one with some cool ham radio tools, like you can add neat widgets and things to your QRZ page. Fun stuff like that. So if you can think of some, be thinking about those, and you can tell us about them, different sites that you have found useful. And what I'd like to do is, if Melanie is around, AG4YL, I know she found a pretty cool tool that's really neat. I'd like her to tell us about it. It has to do with maps. So Mel, if you're around and you'd like to come in and tell the group about it, please go ahead. AG4YL, AC4YL in the net.
Well, good evening. AG4YL here. How's everybody doing? First of all, I'd just like to make a note that we have Catherine AC4YL, myself AG4YL, KDWY7YL, Deborah VA30YL. We have Brenda KW1YL. Awesome call there, Brenda. Pretty awesome. We have Ann W1AYL, and the other Ann KC9YL. So now if we just had Dawn, which I hope she's mending well and getting good care. I'm certain she is. She is WA4YL. Our friend Shirley, who is VA3YL, I think I have that right, in Australia. And then our Rosie from Manitoba, which is VE4YYL. Just a few YL calls on there. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, just this evening in the log, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we have 7 in the log this evening, YL calls. That's a lot of fun. I get a kick out of that. Anywho, yes, the cool, of course I haven't brought it up. I've been doing other stuff. I'm doing stuff. Let's see here. My cool thing that I found, what did I put it under? I don't know what I put it under. I think I might have put it under maps. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so I found this thing. So I was playing around on QRZ, looking up some calls. I don't know if I was getting them off of spotting sites or if I got it off of a QSL card I was looking up. But I found this really neat site called qsomap.org, and it's www.qsomap.org, and there it is. Let me pause for a reset. And I saw it, you can embed this code in other people's, it's got a DX calendar. You can embed your map. But anyway, And so what I did was is I went to my particular logging program is N3FJP, and it has columns in there that will tell you what's confirmed and what way it's confirmed. And I just sorted it so that I could get my things that were confirmed through Logbook of the World, which I consider official, and as opposed to just a card or EQSL or something like that. So I sorted it, and then I selected that group that had been confirmed through LOTW and exported an ADIF and labeled it. And then I went to this QSOMAP.org site, and I set up a new account. It's register. It's free. They send a quick email with a little link and code. You come back and everything. You hook it all up. It doesn't take very long at all. And then you go to your account, and they have a little drop-down, really clean drop-down menus on the top. You go to your account, and, you go to File, and you upload. You can upload multiple files if you want, but I just uploaded a single ADIF file, went and browsed, and got that file that I'd exported out of my logging program with my LOTW confirms, and uploaded it, and it takes a little while to populate. It takes a little while to get all in its brain. But then, when you sign in, you can look at this map, and it has all your LOTW QSOs on this map, pinned on this map. And then you can click on the Worked Grids map, and there's your worked grids. And you can collect if you just want to do, all of your all of your first QSOs from each state, or all of your first QSOs, whatever you want to do. You can export an ADIF any way you want to, with any collection that you select, and upload it in on a map. Wait, pause for reset. So, yeah, it's really, it's quite neat. I thought it was cool. And then you can put it like a lot of these guys did. They embed the code over into like the QRZ page. Then when you click on it, it takes you to this site, to their map, with the latest of their QSOs on there. And it's fun. Really, really fun. So I got a kick out of that. You can upload multiple ADIF files. It's just a really neat, fun site. That's one of my cool new sites that I discovered that I thought was cool, and it didn't take very long for me to sign in on it. Now, one of my favorite newer sites was the dxmaps.com site. That is a lot of fun as well. And it does a lot of stuff, and it was one of those sites that I discovered through my club, my club's email reflector, the North Fulton Amateur Radio League's email reflector. Let me copy that and send this to you. This is so cool. It's nice. It's clean, and it is literally www.dxmaps.com. Really a cool piece of work right there, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that and see where the calls are, and you can pick the continents you want the DX to come from or to. It's kind of like spotting, but visual on a map. So that's a lot of fun. I really enjoy that when you want more of a visual. And you can pick your gray line, which I really like, your modes, propagation modes, and all that other kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a really fun thing, and I like things that are visually appealing, and this really is lots of fun. And it's got a legend down on the bottom of it, so it'll tell you where these things are coming in from, what kind of propagation methods and everything. It's a lot of fun. I encourage anyone to check that one out. One of my favorites. Let me pause one more time. Pat VE4PEH is in the house. Let me get you in the log here. Make sure we have everybody in there. And I can't multitask very well. But there we go. Oh, and we also have Carrie, K4JK, has joined us this evening. Carrie is in here from Statesboro, Georgia, and Pat is in here from Manitoba. So awesome. Got people coming on in and joining in. And we're just talking about some cool new sites. You can pick up the first half of or first 30 minutes of the net once it gets uploaded to YouTube, ladies, and you can get in on some of the sites that we're just talking about, some shortcuts and some sites, and updating everybody. Let's see here. I have to make sure I get everybody in here. I'm the keeper of the log. Alrighty. Very cool. Anyway, which is not necessarily a new one for me, but it's such a favorite, is DX Heat, and that's the one that I refer to. The only time that I can't use it is if I'm doing like a QSO party or mobile portable, like activation of a park or something for KFF. I cannot use it for that because you cannot self-spot on DX Heat. So that's the only downside to that. It's not really a downside. And here we go. So for those that just joined us, www.qsomap.org, qsomap.org, that's fun. dxmaps.com, www.dxmaps.com, and dxheat.com. Pause for reset. Now, we were talking about call signs, and the best way to look up call signs, you really don't want to use QRZ for a couple of reasons, unless you have a paid thing with QRZ. You're going to use up your lookups, A, and B, every time you look up a call sign, if it belongs to somebody, you're giving them another a lookup count. You're increasing their lookup count. So for those that are playing around, experimenting around with looking up some call signs, I've got a couple of neat things that I use that I think are very effective. There's two things that are good for looking up call signs, and they each have their advantages and their disadvantages. Okay, all call sign lookups are not created equal. The first one is going to be radioqth.net. And what I like about that is it has a picture of radio, and you can hit if you're looking up a 1x2 or 2x1 or 2x2 or whatever. You can get kind of specific in how you want to look that up. But there's a couple of things about that. If you were looking up a call that is not a valid call, it doesn't always catch it. And what I mean by valid is a call that's allowed. It won't always catch it. It'll just say it didn't find something. For instance, the reason why Catherine got AC for a while is because C for Catherine. Makes sense, right? And AA for a while was taken, which matches her last name. I can't get AM for a while, but if you look it up in something, it just says, nobody has that call. Well, they don't have that call because it's not a valid call here in the United States. It's actually a call, Indian call. It's actually for the country of India. So I couldn't get AM, so I got AG. Matches up with my last name. Anyway, so Radio QTH is not infallible, but it's a lot of fun. And that website is radioqth.net. And then one more. I'm just going to pause and reset this real quick. Okay, and here's the other one. It's alphaecho7quebec.com, AE7Q.com, and it stands for Amateur Extra 7 Query Tools. It's kind of neat. This guy incorporated his call sign, and this is that one. And then you go to the query. If you just go to AE7Q.com and click on Query in the menu, and you're looking at this going, but that only has 1x2s and 2x1s. Just relax. She'll come down just a little bit on the page on the right-hand side, right under where it says Site Information. It says Show License, Trustee, and Application History, call sign, and it has Lookup. You can put any call you're interested in looking up right into that little plug-in right there, okay? It's going to be predominantly for extra call signs, but you can look up other call signs on there. You just have to type them in manually. So you can't just, radio QTH is neat because let's say you're looking for a YL call. I'm going to go over here and show you how that works real quick. Let's, just for fun, and I hope that Alicia doesn't mind. I'm going to use her as an example. So she's KC1IEZ. Let's just see. Let's go to radio QTH here, and let's look for a 2x2, and let's come down here and put in prefix K, suffix any, district 1, or second letter prefix, I'm sorry, any, district 1, suffix YL. Let's see what we got for her. Like I said, this is not infallible. I would check this against another source. K, any, 1YL. Really? All right. I don't see any availability on any call signs for that for you. How about a whiskey? You want a whiskey call? Let's look at whiskey. No, I don't see anything in there. I'd have to go in A7Q and experiment around and see what we can find. We gotta get you a YL call next. Anyway, that's it for me. Send it back to net, AG4YL.
All right, very cool, Melanie. I appreciate it. You always have some great sites to check out for sure, so that's really, really awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, hopefully that got some of you gals thinking about some other sites that you have found helpful. So if you can think of one or two, please come on in and tell us about it. Okay, well, Lauren has posted over in the one of the chats the site for the search, license search in FCC, and of course that's also a great site actually. Very good one there, Lauren. So I'll put it over in the EchoLink chat too, so the gals over there can have that. It's very cool to look up call signs there, and you can also get a little more in-depth history too, which is really, really awesome. One that I found pretty helpful, I'll throw one in here in the mix, is mapability.com. This is actually like a nice collection of ham radio related maps that you might find useful. Like what, for example, you might ask? Well, a lot of some terms for the new hams here are, you know, CQ zones. So what CQ zone are you in? ITU zones, ITU regions, grid locators. How about ARRL and RAC sections, time zones? So all of those are off the mapability.com site, and they'll help you kind of have an idea of where some of these locations are on the map, and the breakdown that might help you kind of associate that terminology with real life. And there's some contests where you your goal is to work as many CQ zones or as many grids or whatever the case may be, as many ARRL or RAC sections. So it helps to kind of familiarize yourself with those, and they're all right there for you from EI8IC, mapability.com. So that's a pretty cool site. I'm a fan of that one. So who else has a website or two that you found helpful? Okay, well, Lauren has composed or compiled her group of ham radio helpful links on her site there, kc9vhv.com/links. So that's really cool. Lauren, thanks for sharing that. I copied that over into the Echolink chat too, so the gals can see it over there. I think Nisi has a nice collection on her blog. ka1uln.blogspot.com, so I'm sure she has some pretty cool stuff over there that you gals can check out. Who else has something for the group?
AG4YL.
Oh, please go ahead, Melanie.
Well, I see Katie's got to go. I don't know if she's already left or not. She'd probably approve about this, but I don't know if she was watching the chat. I noticed that Alicia, on your QRZ page, I noticed that your initials are Alpha Charlie, and you're in the one area, I believe, if that was the call that you got when you were licensed in that area, and I didn't confirm that. Oh yeah, Massachusetts, you're a 1. So I don't know if you're interested, but AC1YL is available. It's available. Totally open, wide open, and available. So you could get your one call area and your initials and a YL call, and only extras can have that kind of call. Just thought I'd throw that out there for you, and I actually confirmed that on one of the sites I was talking about, which is the AE7Q, AE7Q.com site. So there you are. Anyway, I'll go ahead and send this back over. I could talk about links all day. I've got a ton of them. I absolutely love them. They're some of my favorites. And Catherine mentioned news. I have one of my home pages is set to the ARL news. And by the way, I have some news. For those of you who have been on the net for a while, one of our net regulars until she got busy with college and stuff, doesn't have time to talk to us or anything. Hi. Is Ruth Willett, KM4LAO. She's a good friend of us here at the net, and she, even though she's with a different amateur radio club, she is originally in this from this area, not too far away from where the net takes place, actually, here in Marietta. And she just received the Radio Club of America's Young Achiever Award. So it's on the ARRL's home news splash page. So I just thought I'd mention that. She's one of the nicest people ever and sure deserves it. Back to net, AG for a while.
Cool. Thanks, Melanie. Appreciate that. Thanks for jumping in with that. That's cool. Yeah, it's always fun to hear what Ruth's been up to. Boy, that gal stays busy. I don't know how to keep up with her. But, yeah, that's awesome. So hats off to her for sure. You know, we talk about different links and things. This one is kind of a fun one. It's QSO Today, which is an amateur radio podcast, which is really neat. There have been some really cool interviews done through QSO Today. It's a podcast about amateur radio, and every week Eric, WA6IGR, does an interview once a week with what he calls a leader, a mover and shaker in the amateur radio world. And so it's really kind of neat. If you've never listened to these, they're really cool, and there are several interviews with YLs as well. So it's a lot of fun. Check it out. You can learn more about those very active in amateur radio, and those that have been hams for a very long time as well. He posts transcripts that you can download and save of the recordings, which is really cool. Or you can just listen on your own time. He's talked to, for example, Bob Heil, K9EID, and Ellen White. Her call is not in my brain right now, but he also interviewed her. That was a very interesting one. She's been a ham for many, many years, and so it was cool to hear the history there. So that was a lot of fun to listen to those interviews. So check those out when you have some time and you want some good quality entertainment. All right, who else has a link to share with the group?
KC9YL.
Please, go ahead, Ann.
Good evenings. I just posted in the chat here an echo link. It's dit.fm, so DITDIT.fm, and he's got a podcast every other week. He started out strong around Christmas, the first of the year, and kind of had some health issues and had a little hiatus for a while, but he's back on again twice a week, or twice a month, basically, every other week. And just some real nice, keep up your enthusiasm for your CW, and very encouraging with lots of you can do it kind of messages. He has a new guest every week, and they talk about CW, they'll talk about soda, just different experiences that people have had. And it's just a real nice, easy listen to, probably about a half-hour podcast, and just I really look forward to it. The one, I think it's number 18, that he just posted earlier this week was probably the best that I have heard so far. So it's a lot of fun if you need something to kind of supercharge your CW because you're kind of feeling bad about yourself. It's just a nice, encouraging words and some nice tips along the way. Back to net, this is KC9YL.
All right, fantastic, Ann. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I copied that and put it over in the Do-Drop-In chat as well for the gals over there, and anybody else who happens to pop in later after us. The chats will stay in over there for a little while, so that's cool. Awesome, thanks so much, and speaking of links, I apologize that neither Melanie nor myself have had an opportunity to post the links on Facebook. We will get those caught up for you gals, so that you'll have all the list of links for the last couple of weeks, because we've covered a lot of good ones, so we want to be sure to get that available to you. And I want to take just a moment to say thank you to Lauren for getting the recording of this net going and uploading those for us, so that if we miss any of the net, we can catch back up later. So thank you, Lauren, for that. I want to make sure we express our appreciation on a regular basis to you, because it is a lot of work it's not just a matter of taking a recording. There's some edits and cleanup to be done, and Lauren does a fantastic job for us, and we definitely appreciate that. And again, you can find the recordings on YouTube. You can just do a search for YL OpNet. You can also go to qrz.com and look up either my call sign, AC4YL, or Melanie's call sign, AG4YL. We have the link to both the YL OpNet Facebook group and the YouTube channel. We will also get a link to the groups.io YL Ops group over there as well. So we'll get that up there. So a lot of good stuff. And again, Melanie and I are also still working on a website, and we're getting that together and kind of getting the layout and format. We have some content, so we're trying to get it at a really good starting point to kick it off before we publish it. And then as soon as it's available, we'll let you gals know, and you can share that with all the YLs that you run into as well, and hopefully it'll have some good stuff to help them out. Okay, Susie, the N8CGM has joined us. Good evening, Susie. Glad to see you on this evening. We've been missing you. And Melanie comments that Eric on QSO Today that we just talked about also interviewed Carol, KP4MD, who's been on this net and been a long-time ham and does a lot of cool stuff. So thanks, Melanie, for adding that in there as well. And I think he also interviewed the YL out of Kosovo. So I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. And Carol, also for you gals that haven't seen it, has posted the link to the YL forum at the convention they just had out in, I think, Visalia, California. She posted that in the groups.io YL Ops group, as well as I think she shared it on the Facebook group, and I believe she also shared it on the YL RL Facebook group. So she put it in a few places. So, save that video and take a look. I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing yet. I've only seen part of it. But she did post that for us, so be sure to watch it and comment if you can, so she knows that it was a worthwhile effort at the last minute to get that together so we could enjoy it as if we were there. So cool stuff. All right, who else has a link or two that you'd like to share with the group? Okay, well, let's see. Melanie just posted Ham Nation on twit.tv is a great show. Yeah, that's definitely one. And there was one, I'm trying to think now. It was in my head earlier, and then I forgot it. One you had, Melanie, I don't remember if you mentioned it over the last couple weeks at some point, but it's the cool anecdotal one you were telling me about that you showed me some stuff in recently. Amateur's Amateur, I think it is. You want to tell the gals a little bit about that one?
AG4 Whale here. Sorry, I already took my headset off. I was kind of done. Yeah, let me see. The amateur, where have I got that at? Oh, and by the way, you can go to qsotoday.com, and you can go under podcast, and there's a iTunes list of QSO Today podcasts, and you can download the podcast list as a PDF, so you can actually look at his whole list of them. And yes, he did do the gal from her name is Yolka Beluju Kaka. out of Kosovo. Kosovo's first YL ham radio operator. 25 years after ham radio was closed down in Kosovo, helping to reboot the amateur radio service as the president of the Kosovo Amateur Radio Association. So she's amazing. Z61 Victor Bravo. Zulu 61 Victor Bravo. Amazing story, and he interviews her. He's done almost 200 episodes. The PDF just goes to like 185 or something like that. It's absolutely amazing, and I'll want to definitely see that. I'm getting the amateur. It's a lot of fun. It's entertaining, but he's really good. I was looking up something for Field Day a couple of years ago, and here it is, fun and entertaining. There it is. I'm going to just let me open this tab for my bookmarks. And okay, welcome to the new home of the amateur. Let me copy this and put this down here. If you go all the way to, there we go. There you go. If you go, hi Judy. KSNXI, I got you in the log. Let me get you in here. Can you tell I don't have my headset plugged in, just my microphone right now? But anyway, if you go all the way down to the, let me pause for reset and I'll find this for you. Okay. Oh, and Susie asked about Twit TV. It's an online. It's kind of like YouTube, only it's more professional. YouTube, like anybody can post to YouTube. Twit TV is kind of like an online network, and I'll get you the link for that in just a second if you hang in there. I watched it from the very, very beginning. He had some great guest speakers on there. He was just starting it out. So it's so much different today. It's evolved into something amazing, but the beginnings were just wonderful and humble, and it's nice to see Bob up there at the beginning. If you go all the way to the bottom, if you go to www.the-amateur-amateur.com, all the way to the bottom, there's a thing called Earlier Columns and Other Stories. Click on that. He used to write for the ARRL publication QST, and it has a whole list of stuff from ARRL. It's crazy, from the QST issues, and I just start at the bottom at the oldest one, starting down in June of 2001, Storm Spotting the Hard Way, and just go up. I can't describe to you what this is. I can only ask that you just go there and check it out. It's really, really cool, and his articles are well written. He'll always laugh, but you're kind of laughing with him. He has some, self-deprecating humor, and he's a smart man. He's just a human being, and that's what I love about his stuff. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm getting up that thing for Ham Nation for you. If you give me a second, I'll give you the exact. Why am I not finding it? Oh, here it is. Duh. I got it. Right before I time out. Paste. My thing locked out. Okay, I don't know why that happened, but there it is. There is. So, Susie, it is twit.tv/shows/ham-nation. I'll put it down there in the chat for you. You can also just look up Ham Nation Bob Heil. You can also go to Heil Sound and get the information off of there. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and WB1ARU joins us from Tony's Echolink node. Hi, Ann. Good to see you this evening. We're sharing links. I'll get you in the log and pass this back over to, special event station for the royal wedding. I think I saw that on ARL.news. Or it could have been QRZ News. Another good one is QRZ.com. Their opening page, homepage, has good news on it. I'll send this back over to Catherine and the net. This is AG4YL.
All right. Awesome, Melanie. Well, thank you so much. And Ann, thanks for sharing that link as well. So we got that in both places. Thanks for putting that over there for us. And so lots of cool stuff. Here's another one that I actually stumbled across. Give me 1 second here. Let me pause for reset. Okay, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. All right. So this one's actually kind of cool. It's off of Ham Universe, and it's tools, test equipment, and shack accessories for the new ham radio operator. And it's really cool. It's got a nice list of some basic tools that you'll want to have in your ham shack, and of course maybe some things that you may not have thought about. But I mean, you know, some things from basic, good set of screwdrivers, a toolbox, wire cutters, wrenches and sock sets, pliers, tape measure, electrical tape. You know, it goes from that to test equipment like an SWR power meter, a good multimeter, a dummy load, optional antenna analyzer. I think antenna analyzers are just wonderful tool. I think they're just really awesome. I think it's definitely one you want to invest in, a good antenna analyzer, because especially when you start putting together wire antennas, which are some of the most simplistic antennas to get together, and it's such a easy tool to have your analyzer, so you can make sure that your SWR isn't too high. It's nice and low, so you can operate more efficiently. So, you know, he mentioned some other things that you might end up picking up as you, you know, as you progress. But some good basic starting points of tools to get together for your shack. So very helpful, especially if you're a newer amateur radio operator. It helps to have an idea of some things that you want to have handy. The more involved you get in amateur radio, you'll find you're looking for some of these tools, and so this kind of gives you the list up front and why you may want to have that particular tool. So very helpful. It's a great simplistic site. Just gives you some great tips. Okay, let's open it back up to the group. Anybody else have a link to share that has helped you with amateur radio, or one that you've enjoyed? You know, even the anecdotal side of amateur radio, as they say. Please come on in and tell us about it. Okay, well, we've covered quite a few this evening, so it's a lot of fun. It's cool to kind of pick some of these up, and you'll come across more as you think about it. But that'll give you some cool stuff to explore if you haven't explored those sites. So hopefully you picked up at least one new one. There's a few on ham radio terminology that I will copy and paste in here in both chats as well. One is on QRZ.com, Hamspeak, Know the Lingo. There's some a great list there, and of course the letters at the top are numbers you can click on to drop you down to that section. Another one is from AC6V. It's ham radio, amateur radio, glossary, jargon, abbreviations, and terminology. It's kind of cool. It's another helpful site. And then, let's see, I think there's one more here. AmateurRadioWiki.net is another one. So I'm going to put these in the chats as well. So if you come across or you hear a ham radio term at your club meeting or at a ham fest or on the air, you can check out one of these pages and most likely find the definition or what the abbreviation is, etc. So help you learn the lingo, as they say. So hopefully those you will find helpful. And thank you to everybody that shared some. And again, we'll get these posted over on the Facebook group, and maybe we can copy and paste them from there over to the whileopsgroups.io page as well. Perhaps we can just copy and paste them over so we have it in those two places. Okay. All right. Well, does anybody have a topic, or we've had some folks join us this evening that weren't on in the very beginning. So if you have some news, updates, announcements, or you just want to say hi to the gals here, please come on in and go ahead and do that.
WB1ARU.
Please go ahead, Ann.
Well, a couple of things. Thanks for the plug on YL Ops for the Wednesday night event, whatever we want to call it. You came up with a good name for it, but I can't remember now what it was. Wasn't there last night, needless to say. Was visiting with friends, but had a nice week down here in Florida. It's been very nice weather. I understand the weather got nice at home while we were gone, so I'm looking forward to that. Also wondered if anybody's mentioned KWA0WLF in Busan. I know that Bobby, W1JX, worked her, but I don't know if anybody else has from this gang or anybody that anybody's heard from. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow I'll have a chance to get on the air if she's still there and I can work her if the bands are favorable. I'm going to give it a shot anyway. So that's my comments from Orlando Airport, WB1ARU.
This is Judy, KE7. I have something comical to add. Yes, I do, ladies, I do have my own connection now, but I've always had it. I've had it since 2012, and that was the year that I got involved with the National Weather Service here in Phoenix quite a bit. And anyways, on Saturday, I thought, well, I got to check this out, and here it says, oh, you're already part of us, Echo Link, and so I just think it's kind of funny in a way. And what happened is my computer had died, and that's why I just guess I forgot all about it, that I did have it. So back to net.
All right, fantastic. Well, first off, have a safe trip back home, Ann, and not sure. I haven't been on HF lately. I had too many other things going on. I'm kind of doing two people's job at work, and it's kind of wiping me out. So I haven't been able to get on the air as much as I would like, but so I'm not sure. I haven't seen any posts of anybody else that's worked the while in Japan. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see if anybody else comments on that. But hope you have a safe trip back home. And Judy, good evening. It's good to hear from you. And as much as we like seeing your OM's call, it's nice to see yours up here. So we're glad you made it in under your own call sign. There's nothing wrong with using your OM's Echolink connection when necessary, because you're licensed to use Echolink, so in all the amateur radio facets. So very cool. It's good to hear from you, Judy, this evening. Thanks so much for being here. All right. Anybody else have something for the group this evening?
Brenda, KW1YL.
Please go ahead, Brenda. Good evening.
This is KW1YL. Well, what I'm doing is kind of different from what anyone else is. We still don't have the antennas on our own roof for HF, so I'm doing a lot of UHF and VHF, but mostly UHF nets locally, and I am a net control for once a month for one of them. But my OM and I are also installing antennas on a large building in New Haven on the makerspace in New Haven called MakeHaven, and it's like a 4-story building, and it's the elevators don't work, and the makerspace is in the basement, and the antennas are on the roof. So there are like 10 flights of stairs, or it's 5 stories, but when you turn around, it's like 10 staircases that we have to go up and down, and I've been doing that the past couple of days, up and down, to do this project. We're doing a discone antenna and a Dr. Fong antenna and a Russian probe in different places, and then we're going to put a long wire. We have 4 poles up for these 4 different things, and so we're doing something kind of different. So no, that's my report. Back to Net.
Wow, Brenda. Well, sheesh, that's a lot of exercise. Awesome. Well, cool. Hey, maybe you can take some pictures of the antenna setup and the radio setup. If you're able to do that, that would be really cool to be able to see what you guys are setting up and getting going up there. You could share those on the WileOpNet Facebook group and or the WileOpsGroups.io page. You can share photos over there as well. You can upload them. So that's great. Cool. Well, awesome. That's a lot of fun. It's really fun putting up antennas and learning new stuff about them too. So good stuff, good times. All right. Anybody else have something to share with the group this evening? Okay, well, I'll share something I found kind of amusing. I was thinking of this subject, different subjects, and that we can talk about on the net, and one of them is mic shyness. Hopefully, this net helps any of you that are a little bit nervous about transmitting on the air. Perhaps this is helpful for you to have a nice smaller group and environment of folks that are on every week that you kind of get to know and get comfortable with, and to kind of help encourage you so that you can get up the courage to push that PTT button. But I just did a quick search a while back on getting over mic shyness and tips for doing that, and there's a forum on QRZ with that topic, how to get over mic shyness, and somebody asked for some tips. He says he still feels the terror of being yelled at, was what he said, when he's about to call CQ. I guess he's afraid to do something wrong or say something wrong, or not sure what to do on that. And some of the answers that came back were pretty funny and helpful, or could be helpful. Some of them just funny. One of the answers was simple solution: operate CW. You don't have to say anything at all. So that's certainly one way. Another one I thought was kind of funny was try to imagine everyone you talk to is in their underwear. Heck, on 75 and 40 meters after about 8 p.m. it's probably true. I thought that was a pretty good answer. Lots of fun. But there were some other good ones, 2 meter and 440. If there's any of that kind of activity local, or check into local nets, or throw your call out in a QSO that's going on that is a topic of interest that you are knowledgeable about or you enjoy discussing. So that's certainly a helpful tip. Kind of helps you get more comfortable talking on the air. Of course, HF is a little bit different, but it is a way to get started for sure. So, some other interesting commentary in the forum, but anyway, it's a lot of fun. So maybe I'll be able to do a little more digging and find some more helpful information on overcoming mic shyness. I know for me personally, when I first started in amateur radio, I was not all that comfortable getting on the air and transmitting. So there was a lot of listening involved because I had an interest in amateur radio, and I thought it was cool that you could talk to people around the world. But in terms of getting comfortable doing it, and overcoming the fears of, well, what if I say something wrong? Or for me, it was like, man, how am I going to remember all these call signs? So I think everybody at one point that has VHF, UHF activity in their area will get either an HT or a mobile radio and put it in their car, and they'll have a pad and a pen or a pencil handy, and they're writing down call signs at stoplights and trying to remember them, and that was something that I did as well. I did a lot of listening and would try to get in the habit of hearing call signs and writing them down until I got kind of the feel of it. Something that you think is this simple, you might forget about when you've been a ham for a while, but call signs can be daunting. But a little tip on that, the only call sign you really have to remember is your own. So that's always helpful. I personally did a lot of listening to help me get past the fear of pushing the push-to-talk button. I listened to QSOs in progress and how kind of a round table works and what the feel is like. I'm very good at following a pattern, so that was very helpful for me as a new ham. Let me pause for reset. Another way is I didn't want to have the pressure of having to carry on a conversation. I wasn't quite ready for that, so I found ways to keep my transmission short. And what's a way to do that? Check into a net where all that's expected or asked, really, I should say, of you is to just check in. Then all you have to transmit your call sign and your name. sometimes your call sign name and where you're located, whether it be the county you're in or the city or the state you're in, and that's it, and you're done. You know, it might sound simple and silly, but sometimes that's all it takes, because you don't have the pressure of having to know what to say necessarily. And so nets are a great way to get engaged and get more comfortable with how to transmit. Before you get out there and you're calling CQ and you're like, okay, somebody came back, now what do I do? Another great way would be a field day. If your local club has a field day or a special event, or are big a contesting group and they like to get together and participate in contests or any of that kind of thing, those are great opportunities for you as well, because you've got a great support team right there, a group of mentors and Elmers and Elmiras who will gladly take your hand and help you get comfortable at transmitting and be right there to guide you through the entire process, so that you don't have the pressure of figuring it out on your own, so to speak. So those are some tips that I have for helping overcome mic shyness. Do we have any other YLs here in the group that have a tip for overcoming mic shyness?
AG for a while.
Please go ahead, Melanie.
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, Larry, repeater owner in Bedford, Virginia, has LinkedIn, and I think that's great. We always encourage different areas and different repeaters to link in here that have an Echolink node to go ahead and link in on us. And yes, it is a YLNet, so we appreciate OMs standing by. Always welcome to listen, but YLs can check in, of course. But I think it's great. We do have quite a few networks, repeaters, and links that link into us for the YLs in their community. So I think it's great. So yeah, it's absolutely okay to link in, and thank you for respecting the net and standing by. But absolutely welcome to link in and get the area, the YLs in the area, to listen to the net and to check into the net, and that is perfectly okay. My name is Melanie AG4YL, and I'm alternate net control of this net as well. What I was going to say was, for me, it wasn't, my mic shyness was different. I think, Catherine, you sort of touched on it there. The first time I was on HF was on the Get on the Air station at Field Day, but the first time I was ever doing anything as far as talking to other hams was on Echolink. As a matter of fact, it was on this net. So Echolink nets, I think, are awesome. I think it's a great way to get more familiar with, as Catherine said, kind of the procedure, the ease of it. And when you're on an Echolink net like this one, or there's several others, there's hundreds of others out there, you feel a lot more comfortable. You get to know the group. You kind of hear them and hear how they talk to each other, and you get comfortable until you can finally check in. That was the hardest thing for me. Pause, reset. So for me, trust and believe it. It took me a minute to get up the courage to actually, push that space bar at the time push that space bar on Echolink and come onto the net and say anything. So I completely get that whole mic shyness. I was, because I just didn't know, what to say. But then you get to know the people, and you get to hear them talk to each other, and you realize, it's safe. And for me, that was a really good way to go. And then, of course, there was getting on the local repeater on 2 meters with an HT, getting on HF for GOTA, which I really, really wanted to do. That's where my big interest was HF. But I still, to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons why I like contesting, because if I think there's going to be a reg chew or a conversation, it's like sometimes I don't know what to say, or sometimes I'm not in the mood, to be honest. So for me, that can still be daunting. So I like contesting because it's a quick, easy exchange, and then I'm gone. There's no chit chat. So I'm not big for reg chewing. I'm pretty shy for that. But once the net's different, because this is like the sisterhood on this net. So I feel comfortable, and I hope you ladies feel the same, that you can talk about anything and you not have to worry about being mic shy, because we're all here together to have a good time. Anyway, that's what I had to say about, for me and my getting over my mic shyness was Echolink nets like this one. You can sit and listen. You can put in the box when you go up to Echolink. You can change your settings on the fly as to what's displayed, where it says like your name or whatever you put up there in the display. You can put RX only, receive only, and they'll leave you alone. They'll know that you're just listening, going about your business, and you can get used to the way it goes. So I highly, highly recommend checking out some of the Echolink nets. World Conference is a good one.
Hi, it's Judy again, KE7IXI. I was just going to quick comment, say the way I broke the ice was I would talk with my husband on my handheld when he was driving home from work. Say, okay, just a few things, and say, oh, how'd your day go? What are we going to have for dinner tonight? And then you think, oh, I hope I didn't say anything wrong, and then you have to check a little bit, but I guess I was okay. And then after that, just starting out, like I previously said, helping out with the National Weather Service, that helped me out quite a bit too, talking to different people in different states. Women, I also felt more comfortable. Men, I thought, oh, I don't know. But I've become used to it. And then our field day too. I also thought, oh no, now I'm going to be around people from our club, and what if I say something not quite right? And I thought to myself, hey, they've done it too, so I guess I'm okay. And then Melanie was talking about, we have our ladies group, and I also feel very comfortable. I'm very happy I found you all, and I really enjoy tuning in every week. So back to Net.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks so much, Melanie and Judy, for your additional comments on that. That's fantastic. And yes, we would like to say good evening to Larry and all the YLs out there that can listen in right now through that repeater. And we'd love to hear them check in and join us every Thursday right here on the ALARA Conference on Echolink. On Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, year-round. So we'd love to have more ladies checking in. We've got such a great group, and it's wonderful to chat with you all each week. So thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here this evening. We've come up to about the time to close the net, so what we'd like to do is see if there are any other YLs who would like to check into the net this evening and you have not done so and you would like to. Please go ahead and do so now. Just give us your call sign, your first name, and your current location. Okay, not hearing anyone. So with that, would like to remind everybody, please visit the WILE.net Facebook group. Sign up if you haven't already, and please share that group information with other WILEs you know, as well as the WILE-OPSgroups.io group. Share that as well. That is for WILEs everywhere, all around the world. And we'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for live streaming and recording of this net, making it available to all through YouTube. We'd like to thank ALARA for the use of this Echolink conference node, North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their do-drop-in chat room, and all who are linked in and listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL, closing out the WILE.net and returning the ALARA conference back to normal use. 33 ladies, we'll see you next week.